Have you ever seen someone you love change right before your eyes, chasing a dream that felt more like a nightmare? This is the story of the Harris
This is
family,
such a
a good
wonderful
family
opportunity,
whose
Mark.
quiet life was turned upside down by an amazing business opportunity. It was a chance to build an empire from their living room, a promise of wealth, freedom, and luxury cars. But as the dream grew bigger, their life savings started to disappear, and a painful secret began to grow between them. It would all lead to one dramatic afternoon, when a father would be forced to show his family the devastating truth of their new reality. Before we see how this story unfolds, we would love to know where you are watching from. Please let us know in the comments so we can bring you more stories that resonate with you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss our upcoming stories. Now let's dive into the story. Tom Harris was a man who believed in numbers. As a retired accountant, his world was built on logic, balance sheets, and the simple truth of black and white. For 40 years, he had worked diligently to provide a stable life for his family. He wasn't flashy, but he was dependable. His wife, Carol, was the opposite. She was the heart of the family, full of energy and dreams. After Tom retired, she started to feel a little lost, looking for a new purpose. Their son, Mark, was a good man in his early 30s, married to his wonderful wife, Jessica. Mark worked a decent job, but he felt stuck, always dreaming of being his own boss. He wanted to give Jessica the world, but felt like he was falling short. The change began on a Tuesday. Carol came home from lunch with an old friend, her eyes sparkling with an excitement Tom hadn't seen in years. The company was called Vitanova. It wasn't just a company, she explained. It was a wellness movement. They sold everything from energy drinks called Zenith to detox powders called Aura Cleanse. But the real product was the opportunity. Carol's friend had shown her pictures on her phone, pictures of shiny new cars, exotic vacations, and big checks with lots of zeros. All of it, she said, was possible with Vitanova. You just had to believe in the product, share the opportunity, and build your team. Tom was skeptical. "Carol, it sounds like one of those pyramid things," he said gently over dinner. Carol shook her head. "No, Tom, it's not. It's multi-level marketing. It's the future." At first Jessica was skeptical too, but then Carol roped in Mark. She told him this was his chance to finally be the leader she always knew he could be. The promises were too tempting to ignore. Financial freedom, being his own boss. Within a week, both Carol and Mark had bought their gold-level starter kits for $2,000 each. The boxes arrived and started to fill the garage. Jessica watched with a growing sense of worry as their small savings account took the hit. "It's an investment in our future," Mark would tell her, repeating the lines he heard on the daily motivational calls. "You have to spend money to make money." The motivational calls soon turned into weekend conferences in other cities. More money spent on tickets, hotels, and travel. They came back from these events with notebooks full of slogans and a fire in their eyes, talking about their upline mentors and their downline team that they were going to build. The problem was they weren't selling much. Their friends and family politely said no, and the boxes in the garage just kept piling up. The breaking point for Jessica came when Mark quit his job. "I have to go all in," he announced one evening. "My Vitanova mentor says a part-time commitment gets part-time results. I need to be a leader." Jessica pleaded with him. "Mark, we can't afford this. We have bills to pay. Your mom is retired. We can't rely on your dad's pension." "You just don't believe in me," he said, his voice cold. It was another line he had learned from his Vitanova training. The next few months were a nightmare. The garage was now a warehouse of unsold products. The happy, easygoing man Jessica married was gone. He was replaced by a man who was always on his phone, talking in slogans, and trying to recruit grocery store cashiers and old high school friends on Facebook. Carol was just as bad, calling her son her business partner and planning strategies late into the night. Tom watched all of this from the sidelines, his heart growing heavier each day. He tried to talk to them, but they just called him negative and said he had a scarcity mindset. One afternoon Jessica came to Tom, her eyes red from crying. She held a stack of bank statements in her shaking hands. "Tom, I don't know what to do," she whispered. Our joint savings account is almost empty. And now, he's talking about taking a loan against our car to buy the diamond-level inventory pack. It's $10,000. Tom felt a cold anger rise in his chest. It was an anger he rarely ever felt. He looked at the statements, his accountant's mind quickly processing the numbers. The small occasional deposits from a few sales were nothing compared to the thousands and thousands of dollars flowing out. He had seen enough. He spent the entire night in his home office. He didn't just look at the bank statements. He dug up the credit card bills, the receipts from the conferences. He put it all into a spreadsheet. The numbers didn't lie. The next day, he called a family meeting. The atmosphere in the living room was thick with tension. Mark and Carol sat on one sofa looking annoyed, like this was an interruption to their important business. Jessica sat on a chair by herself, looking pale and nervous. Tom stood by the television, his laptop connected to the big screen. "Thank you for coming," Tom began, his voice calm and steady. "I know you're both very busy with your business, but we need to talk about the numbers." "Oh, Tom, not this again," Carol said with a sigh, rolling her eyes. "We're building an empire. You can't put a price on that." "Actually," Tom said, clicking a button on his laptop, "you can." On the screen, a spreadsheet appeared. It was neat, organized, and absolutely brutal. There were columns for inventory purchases, training materials, travel expenses, and event tickets. Then there was a small column for income from sales. Tom picked up a laser pointer. "Over the last 6 months," he said, his voice dangerously quiet, "you, Carol, and you, Mark, have spent a combined total of $23,450. Mark shifted uncomfortably. "Dad, it's an investment." "Every business has startup costs. An investment is supposed to provide a return," Tom countered, his voice sharp. He pointed the laser at the income column. "Your total sales, the money you have actually put back in the bank, is $1,210. He let the silence hang in the air. Jessica closed her eyes, a single tear escaping. Carol stood up, her face red with anger. "This is so unfair. You're a dream stealer, Tom. You've never supported us. You sit around with your boring numbers while we are out there changing lives." "Changing lives?" Tom's voice finally cracked with emotion. "You've drained your son's savings account. You've pushed him to quit his job. You're about to borrow money against their only car. You're not changing lives, Carol. You're ruining them." "He doesn't get it, Mom," Mark said, standing up to join his mother. He looked at his father with a mix of anger and pity. "Dad, you're stuck in the past. You worked a 9-to-5 job your whole life. We want more than that. We're creating freedom. You have a poverty mindset." Jessica finally spoke, her voice trembling. "Mark, please, just look at the numbers. It's all right there. We can't even afford our groceries this month." Mark wouldn't even look at her. He kept his eyes on his father. "This is just a temporary phase. The big money is coming. Our mentor says the ones who quit are the ones who fail. We are not quitters." Tom took a deep breath. He clicked the mouse one more time. A single number appeared on the screen in big red letters. A negative number. 22,240. "That is not a dream," Tom said, his voice firm and full of a father's pain. "That is a debt." "That is the truth. And from this day forward, not another penny from my pension will go towards this fantasy. You are on your own." The meeting ended with slammed doors. Mark and Carol were furious, feeling attacked and misunderstood. They accused Tom of jealousy and Jessica of betrayal. For 2 weeks, a cold war raged in the house. Mark and Carol continued to make their calls, but the fire was gone, replaced by a desperate, hollow echo. Then, reality began to set in, just as the numbers on Tom's spreadsheet predicted it would. The credit card bills arrived, demanding payments they couldn't make. Their upline mentor, who used to call them every day, suddenly stopped answering his phone when he realized they had no more money to invest. The community of dream builders vanished. One evening, Jessica found Mark sitting in the garage, surrounded by hundreds of boxes of Vitanova products. He wasn't on the phone. He was just sitting there, staring at the mountain of unsold inventory. For the first time in months, the slogans and the fake confidence were gone. She just saw her husband looking lost. He looked up at her, his eyes filled with a shame that was deeper than any anger. "You were right," he whispered, his voice hoarse. "All of it. You and Dad. You were right. It wasn't a magic fix." The debt was still there. The trust was still broken and needed to be rebuilt, piece by piece. But as Mark closed his laptop from a Vita Nova training video and opened it to a job search website, it was the first step back. It was the end of a costly, painful dream and the slow, difficult beginning of rebuilding a life based not on promises, but on truth. So that was the story of the Harris family, and the high price of a dream that was too good to be true. It's a powerful reminder that if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. We want to know what you think. Have you ever known someone who got involved in a business like this? Or have you been approached yourself? Let us know your experience in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, please hit that subscribe button. It's completely free for you, but it helps our channel a lot and allows us to keep bringing you more stories. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.